Welcome back, everyone. In this episode of Bitcoin Trade, we look at Bitcoin plunges as major exchange halts withdrawals. So I kind of, confirmed that I was having withdrawal issues over at Mt. Gox. So whatever the reason. So I'm looking at all these newsletters, or not newsletters, these reports here of, you know, Bitcoin plunges 20%. It just keeps talking and talking about, the pause on Bitcoin withdrawals. Looks like everybody's making a run on the Bitcoin. Seems like it anyway. I have my other theories. So basically, they're still having withdrawal issues, both money and Bitcoin. And it's kind of weird how it worked out that way. Anyways, let's look at a reason why the price nosedived. And so let's just go directly to Mt. Gox. And here is my technical chart analysis. And so I kind of been warning everyone about the imminent drop in price on this downtrending, a very hard downtrending resistant line. And I've been telling you since around this time frame right here. And for me, Mt. Gox makes total sense. Everything about what Mt. Gox is doing, it makes total, complete, 100% sense if you are a genuine, legitimate Bitcoin trader. Okay, or if you have knowledge of trading, you traded with charts and everything. This is not a big deal. This is a problem, and you know how to trade. Okay, you understand how to trade and how to hedge and all these other things. You understand how to do that with a financial instrument. Even though Bitcoin is just Bitcoin, you still know how to take advantage of the price fluctuations. So here's my new chart. I had to back out one day. So you see all this movement here from the past. Well, they somehow correlate to what's going on to the price. And if you noticed, I did mention this is a hard resistant line, and that it would drop, and if it did drop, it might even drop violently. Well, there you go. So let's take a look at some other charts, shall we? And we'll find out why it stopped here. It actually went down a little bit further. I think there's some overselling here. And if you see that my original support line was basically the low here to this low, and it made this line coming up here, and I basically put a limit order right around there. It went past it, went down a little further, and then it just is coming back around that same price, around right here. So around here is where I made my limit order. Originally, actually, I made my limit order to the low of this red thing right here. 715, I believe, 715. So that's my original. So remember, I told you in previous episodes that a lot of people who trade understand that there's a good support here, possibly a good support here, because when it came out of this, it bounced up and then took off. So there was a lot of buying going on here. So a lot of people, you would assume that there's a lot of people who have would hold their position right about here. My other thing was right about here. I did not go that far on my other position here, other limit, order limit, but right around here might have been another good one. But as you see, it never dropped that far. Okay, so that's fine. I mean, it works for me. But looking at it, because it went that far, I had to draw another line. So I drew a line from here to here at this point, and now it looked like there was a uptrending channel starting to develop with these two lines, but it looks even more of a parallel. As you see, it looks more parallel to each other between these 2 points here, and then this support line. Now it's become a resistant line. So we're back to another triangle, okay? And this time this triangle has a lot of room to play with. So when I look at it, this was kind of getting really boring. I couldn't really do a whole lot in here. I basically made no trades here because it barely moved. But now that it's moved, it's got a lot more room to play with. And, you know, I think it really needed to go down and then build up that momentum going back up again. So now I'm seeing an uptrending channel, and this is the life of a person who trades, who understands chart analysis. This is what you're analyzing on a technical chart level. So I hear all these reports. I've been telling people, hey, it's probably going to hit down because this is a hard resistant line. And what's kind of funny is during this time frame around here is when they were having withdrawal issues. I don't know if that coincides with anything, but let's take a look at some of the other charts and maybe we can get a better idea, because everybody's focusing just on Mt. Gox, okay? Just on Mt. Gox. But if you look at some other charts, here's one that's Bitstamp, okay? Bitstamp, and look at the price difference now. Look at BitC is closer to Mt. Gox. Bitstamp is the lowest. When you see prices like that, where Mt. Gox is higher and Bitstamp's lower, well, anyways, when Bitstamp's lower than BitC, it's an indication of a sell-off. As a matter of fact, the spread between these two prices is about only $10, $11, $12. It used to be about $180 at one point. So does that mean that it's leveling, or that this is the right price? I don't know. This market here shows 750. So the Chinese market, the Asian markets seem to be holding on to their value. These have somewhat crashed, but did it really crash? I mean, to me, it looks like a technical correction. This makes sense. So Bitstamp didn't fall as much, but you got to remember it never went up as much as either. And so having this fall and hitting not quite this support line, and I'll show you where I got the support line. I did pretty much the same thing here. See, just took this and just plotted up, and wouldn't you know, it seems like a support. So another triangle. Alright, and it's just going to bounce around, and you're just going to keep going into triangles until it breaks out of those triangles or breaks down. Very simple. You know, so I wouldn't say don't freak out. Things like this are happening for a reason, and it's kind of weird how things work out that way when you work with channels, lines, triangles within triangles, and how the price moves on certain news. But then again, it almost seems to move at a particular time as if it's predictable. All right, and whatever, Mt. Gox, you know, people come up with any reason. For example, if I told you today, look for the number 5, all of a sudden you will start seeing number 5 everywhere, and you will not, I mean, then all of a sudden you'll realize, wow, there's a lot of number 5s out here. I did not realize that. So when people are looking for a reason, they'll find one, and one of the reasons, I guess, was Mt. Gox was halted all withdrawals, even Bitcoin withdrawals. But I have another theory on that. So anyways, there you go. And then let's look at BitC. Wow, look at that. The BitC just reacted the way I thought it would react. As far as I'm concerned, BitC's in line where the price should be as far as price action and everything. Let me pull out a little bit further. So I did the same thing with BitC, and look at that. It stopped right there. And I did this before, during the crash, because I wanted to know, okay, where is it going to stop? Is it going to stop here? Is it going to stop here? It almost stopped right around, yeah, right there. So you see, this was a good support for BitC, because it shows the breakout of this downward channel coming down, and then the up momentum. So there was a lot of support here. So Bitsy is really following the technical analysis here of this chart, and it didn't go up as high, so it didn't fall as much because there was a support right there. And so if you compare these technical lines with Mt. Gox, I mean, all the exchanges pretty much did the same thing. I think Mt. Gox got a little oversold, but then again, that's why I trade at Mt. Gox, is because there's more price movement, more price action. Matter of fact, I told people, if you're into money, you should cash out right. I think I said it right about here. I said you should cash out right here, and the price drove up, which probably kept a lot of people in the game. They had another chance here to sell out. You know. Anyways, as this thing was going down, I had my limit orders in here in certain spots, and I think I told you why. I made some purchases with my Bitcoins, so now I'm buying back into them, basically covering my position. So I did buy Bitcoins to be used, but you know, it's interesting how there's no law or regulation on when you can buy your Bitcoins. It just says if you're going to use it to buy things. And so I use my US dollar, all right, and I bought Bitcoins for the Bitcoins to be used for a purchase. But it doesn't say when I have to, all right? It just says just buy the Bitcoins to be used for a purchase. It doesn't say I have to, at that time, exact moment, buy the Bitcoins and purchase something, all right? So I expended my Bitcoins up here. Now the thing is, you got to have some Bitcoins in order to do this. So if you don't have any Bitcoins, if you just have money in here and you're just buying as you're trying to sell, you can do that, but you should take advantage of the price fluctuations, and where you can purchase things with your Bitcoins at these prices up when they're on the top, expend your Bitcoin, and then cover your position, or basically you're buying you're buying. So this is a form of hedging when you deal with when you make your purchase of things with Bitcoin in the real world. It could be a form of hedge. You can expend your Bitcoin, and you know, you are taking a risk because you're if you're like me, you're selling into risk. So when I sell my Bitcoins, or when I expend my Bitcoins, I guess to a certain degree, if I'm expending my Bitcoins and getting something of that value, of whatever it is, for something else that's, I don't know, it's obviously either money or something that's not money. You know, the concept is something like a Bitcoin that doesn't have face value, but that can appreciate over time, like real estate, property, business, whatever. I don't recommend anything illegal. Try to stay within the legal framework if you want to be legitimate about your Bitcoin trading. So, anyways, this makes sense to me. There's nothing wrong. The world's not ending. Mt. Gox is not going out of business. I don't think they're going out of business because everything else just indicates something otherwise. Could there be a problem? Yeah, maybe. So, you know, if I look at the other this is Bitstamp, okay, on a 1 day. So I look at the other charts, and I'm looking at my analysis here, and yeah, sometimes you have to back out that far, and you do. Sometimes you have to back out that far to see what's going on. And so if you kind of see what's going on here, I don't know if you can kind of draw a little parallel. I could find the resistance up channel line on Mt. Gox, but I don't know where it is on this because I'm not following it. This was easy to do, and that was easy to do, but I'm not sure what channel it's flowing on. I don't know if Mt. Gox is not going to work out for me. I might trade here, or actually I prefer Bitsy, but I think Bitsy's going through its own issue. Oh, I made a mistake here. Never mind. All right, there it goes. So this is Bitsy, right there, Bitsy, and you know, this is a perfect chart analysis here. This is like I mean, Bitsy did actually what I thought it would do to the bone, to the T. Look at that. I made it here and somewhere here, and the line drew out to be right here. So by the time BTC was going down, it was actually right around this price right here. I didn't know if it was actually going to hit or go through, but it actually just stopped right there, and it's having a little bit of rebound. Of course, you won't know until a few days whether this is really the truly the support. It could break through. It could break through too. But so far, from what I'm looking at, this makes sense. All right, there's nothing strange going on. I mean, this is a technical chart analysis, and there it is. Nothing. I don't think there's anything weird in particular. So, all right. So, are you all ready for my theory on this? So of course, as you know, the U.S. government has seized a lot of bitcoins. All right, and they may have even seized a lot of bitcoins at Mt. Gox. They may be even working with Mt. Gox, seeing how it's a ally nation. And after all, America is literally defending Japan. It has an obligation to, protect and defend Japan, literally. Okay, and so that's probably why you're, that's probably a plausible reason why the U.S. government may be working with Mt. Gox as far as bitcoins. Okay. Anyways, and also Mt. Gox had the highest price, so wouldn't it make sense for the U.S. government, if they had a lot of bitcoins, to go to Mt. Gox, say, hey, here's what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna cash out on these bitcoins, and we're gonna cash them out with you. And at the same time, we wanna route out anybody who's doing, trading bitcoins with you guys, and see who panics, because most likely those are the criminals. Maybe, I'm not sure. Because Bitcoin did make a statement about people who were using Bitstamp or BitInstant, and maybe they got some information out of the what is the name, Robert Ulrich, Dread Pirate Roberts, whatever, the guy who got arrested for Silk Road, and maybe some information from Mr. Sherm and Mr. BTC King, that maybe that they were trading on Mt. Gox because of the higher price, of course, right? Higher price. Well, maybe the government said, was working with them, and they said, well, hey, let's sell your Bitcoin. We want to sell the Bitcoins through you guys. You guys can make the commission, blah blah blah, whatever. We just want it back in legal tender for us to, seize. So this could be another reason, and because it's a dramatic, it's more, but at the same time, on a technical level, it makes sense. And actually, after it dropped down that far, I made this other line. It's completely parallel to this other support line that was up here. So we're now back in a uptrending. I know this drives people crazy. Now we're back in an uptrend channel. All right. So Mt. Gox makes sense. It hits the resistant, the top heavy resistant, top line, right? And it's a very hard resistance. I mean, and it would drop down. So nothing strange here. Kind of interesting how, if my theory is correct, how it all worked out anyway, according to the chart analysis. So, and it's weird that way. It really is. When you're drawing channels and lines and how the price action moves on news, but also it makes sense because you look at it and then pow. Nothing. I wasn't surprised, and maybe some people watched my video and I caused a run on Mt. Gox. I don't know, because I trade at Mt. Gox. Who knows? But anyways, there you go. There you have it. I know the news are sensational. Bitcoin plunges as major exchange halts withdrawals. So in this report here, it does mention that from Mount. Oh, where's the report? Nope, that's not it. Maybe it's here. After technical issues. No, this is not it. Maybe it's here. Okay, Mt. Gox temporarily pauses Bitcoin withdrawals, and in here they report that I guess whatever issues, quote unquote, they're having. But after the price will stabilize, in other words, the price finishes, the Bitcoin finishes dropping in price, then they'll probably allow people to withdraw and blah blah blah, all that other stuff. So there you go, there you go. So, and we'll see, we'll see. I mean, it'd be nice if they could, because I would like to get some groceries here, and you know, get back to. I mean, you can still trade, which is fine, but if you can't get your bitcoins, you know, it's kind of like a video game at this point, and if it continues to be that way, I would just, you know, I still trade at Mt. Gox. At some point, they got to legally, I'm assuming, there's some ramifications here of, at some point, I've got to make a withdrawal, either Bitcoin or US dollars. And, you know, if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, I'm hoping that this will be willed to my children, who are Japanese citizens. They're dual citizens, and, you know, they will have this account will be passed on to them, and they are legal citizens of Japan, and they can convert their bitcoins to yen if they desired. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I don't know. I'll be dead. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. Like I said, if you're in it for the dollar, if you're trading US dollar Bitcoin, you're in it for the US dollars. You're on the losing side of the trade. I've always, you know, told people that you to get into Bitcoin, if you really know what Bitcoin, this is not Bitcoin, okay? So I hate these kind of pictures, because they don't really, Bitcoin doesn't really exist in this world, people. And if you had them as coins, it negates the utility of all this. But if you're in it for the US dollars, you're on the wrong side of the trade. To get into Bitcoin, you've got to believe in Bitcoin. You have to know what it is and how it works, and the true purpose of Bitcoin. All right, the true purpose of Bitcoin is not to commit crimes. All right, it is to liberate, you know, people from debt. That's pretty simple, right? So, anyways, I know it's some big headlines. A lot of people are freaking out. And, you know, for someone who trades, we're like grinning. We're like, yes, I could buy Bitcoins at a cheaper price. You know, people who are really long Bitcoin, we love seeing price drops like this, because I was buying all the time. I may, depending on what the price does now after here, I may do even larger buys, because it's cheaper than $900 of Bitcoin. So I'm able to purchase more Bitcoins, or quote unquote mine. Okay, mine more Bitcoins. Okay. So, this you can be legitimate about it. I guess Bitcoin is whatever you want it to be. If you want to be a criminal, then you're a criminal. If you are a legitimate business person, an investor, user, then you're a legitimate investor, user, miner of Bitcoins. So the choice is yours. I hope you make the right choice, and that choice would be to be legitimate. I hope. Anyways, if you're a criminal, everything you've done so far is not legitimate. It would be taken away anyway. So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of over for you guys. But everyone else who's legitimate in the Bitcoin trade, yeah, you can start making a living now. You can actually start trading, do real world transactions, buy physical assets, buy physical commodities. I mean, the world is I guess the sky's the limit. The cyberspace is the limit, I would say, in this case. Anyways, hopefully this helps, and everyone's not freaking out too bad. This makes sense to me. Everything that's happening so far makes absolute complete sense. And let me just zoom in here on this, on the Mt. Gox chart here, so it kind of makes it a little. I'll go on to the 6 hour. So yeah, there it is. There's the downtrending channel that I was mentioning, Now we're quite possibly, now that the price has gone down and a correction has been made, I really felt that it was overpriced, but at the same time, the chart analysis that I saw made sense. That it was trying to test this top resistant line on a downtrending line, and it made an attempt. So Mt. Gox is, in my opinion, the leading indicator because it was falling before everyone else was falling. So Mt. Gox is the leading indicator, in my opinion, and it always seems like to be the leading indicator, even with the smaller volumes and all that. I mean, it just, the way the price action moves, it makes sense. Now let's look at Bitstamp one more time. Oh, sorry, I changed it. Uh, well, anyways, you saw it. And let's look at Bitsy. Um, oh, that was Bitsy. What's this? Oh, anyways, oh, that's right. That was Bitsy. Problem is when you click on these other indices, the lines go away. But this is a simple line drawing. Anyways, this is Bitsy right here, and so never reached this top hard line, but this was the resistant line here, and still it doesn't matter. It's a downtrending line. So if it couldn't break above this, you knew that it was not in an uptrend. And then on top of that, this support line here that I drew while the price was falling didn't really touch yet. It stopped right there. So I'm onto something here. Okay, this makes sense. So I would trade Bitsy, but I just saw the report that Russia is banning Bitcoin for Russian citizens and corporations. Although anybody outside can trade there, just, nobody in Russia can. Anyways, a lot of things happening. A lot of this is now you're starting to see, who's taking what position and what side regarding Bitcoin. So we know China's position. Now we know Russia's position. It wouldn't surprise me that surrounding areas that have Chinese Russian influence take similar positions. Although India is taking another position on that, and then you have America has clarified the use of Bitcoin to an extent where I guess you can say it's legitimate. Washington State declared Bitcoin as money. A lot of things are going on here, and we're seeing different nations take different sides, and now we're going to see what's really going on. It's forcing a lot of nations, countries, politicians, groups to take a side on this, and now we're going to see who's who. All right, we're going to see who's who, and I mean that's going to reveal a lot. The fact that China and Russia banned Bitcoins is very interesting, and there's a lot of speculation you can go on that. There there's a lot of rumors that I've been hearing or reading about where that Bitcoin was created by a government entity to, I don't know, do something. Maybe it was created by Russian or Chinese or whatever to destroy the dollar. But who knows? Who knows? If it was, it didn't work. I don't think the dollar is being destroyed. It's a chance for U.S. dollars to come back to America. That's true. That's plausible. Bitcoin is a way for Americans to get their U.S. dollars back after they've exported their money with basically cheap labor, cheap products, stuff like that. It's possible, but it can go the other way around too. I mean, we can export more U.S. dollars out to the world. So it's hard to think that it. Anyways, a lot of speculation. Food for thought for you guys. Anyways, I guess I would conclude my episode on this. I think I talked long enough. So feel free to comment, like, dislike. So this is Bitsy. Let's go to Mt. Gox because that's where I trade at. And yeah, I know that looks horrible, but if let's back out. I mean, let's put it onto some kind of perspective, because look at this drop, and then look at that drop. I mean, it's and look at this wild swing, and look at this. If you're not, if you're not used to it by now, you should be. I mean, let's just, well, let's do 3 weeks. I mean, it's all perspective, really. There, it's just all perspective. Like, you know, I don't even move like that much. It's within the range of what it's been doing recently. But if you compare it to this, now look at that. See, that is Silk Road. Silk Road, boom, comes down, and that's when Silk Road was seized and everything. Now you look at this. Now you know, look at this, and something's going on right around this time frame, November. And I think a couple things. Government shutdown may be a play. I don't know what really caused this. This is an interesting phenomenon. I'm just fortunate enough that at the time I was interested in Bitcoin before it all went up. So, but you know, let's put it in perspective. I mean, look at that. Look at these moves. And I was trading all this time as well. And so this move, it's not that big of a deal. Anyways, that's enough. Feel free to comment, like, dislike, or even leave a video response. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned for the next episode.